Alright everybody, I think we should be live now. Or if we aren't, we should be very close to being live now. Hopefully, after some technical difficulties, we are able to provide you with some more action here on the 4G Mania World Cup. This is the round of 16 losers bracket. This is Chile against Singapore. And I'll do a very quick introduction. I'm Juan Crystal here commenting alongside Dynascape. How are you doing?
Doing great as always, Juan. Thank you very much for that introduction. Try to get you guys the band recap after this map. But currently we are seeing Chile up 1-0 versus Singapore. Singapore did pick this map, Hybrid 1, Sylvia. It seems like they are winning by quite a decent amount, especially with Oro taking that break, 2 breaks on Chile's side, while Singapore does have triple FC up.
Yeah, as it stands, Singapore seems to be holding the lead here on their own pick. So interesting dynamic here. Chile picking first and winning their own map, and now into Singapore's own pick. They will win this one fairly comfortably, it seems. 15,000 points on a map that is 4 minutes long is quite respectable. So C21 pulling up the fight here, equalizing the deal as we are entering the very, very end of this. I don't see Chile recovering from it, especially now that we see a miss by Horo.
And despite all of these drops that Horo has had throughout this map, it does seem very impressive that they still managed to keep up with a 99.5 lead closing out the map. A couple of unfortunate, very clean breaks overall, especially for, I believe, Best Satellite as well. But Singapore just the better team on this map, as Pochettino, Mr. Dabian, and Dolphin pull off a very impressive triple FC with 2 990s to boot.
Yeah, very solid performance here by the higher seed. Singapore picking well, starting off with the hybrids here, although I will argue a bit close, really. It came down to the chokes here by Horo, and otherwise, I believe Chilean's ratio is a bit superior. So 200 count, control of perfect accuracy seems to be better for Singapore here, as it is 1-1. Not 2-1, as the stream is displaying the score wrongly for the moment, but don't worry about that too much.
In order, Chile will fire back with a Rice 5 pick. It does seem like both of these teams are attuned to Rice more than LN, as we see Rice 2 and Hybrid 1 were picked, and Hybrid 1 being very biased towards the Rice difficulty side of things. But with Palette Lab, it really will show who is better when it comes to physicality as well as techie bursts.
As it stands right now, with the Palette Lab, I mean, I'm not very sure. Like, this pick seems reasonable. I would expect Chile to be the better team in the Rice department, but just barely, really. And mostly off the back of their ratios being stronger. So, as the maps get physically harder, like Palette Lab's case is, I'm not so sure. Like, maybe this isn't the greatest pick by Chile, but if they're confident on the Rise, then they may as well be fine.
I do have to agree with you here, Juan. I think that once the physicality is bumped up just by a little bit, I believe Singapore should edge out Chile. We have some statistics to back it up as well, looking at the qualifiers, especially that Rise 2 qualifier, which was that Joyride song. Singapore got 20th place on that in the qualifiers, whereas Chile got 31st. So that map is pretty, there's a lot of parallels to make when it comes to that, and Palette Lab as well. So I think that's a good basis to kind of stage our guesses off of. I do think, again, Chile might be making a big mistake here in picking Palette Lab, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah, but now checking the stats as well of this particular matchup, this was Chile's Protect. So, interesting. They decided to protect the hardest map of the pool, at least in the Rise department, whereas Singapore decided to protect the easiest map. They protected Neo City Dive, which historically makes sense for Singapore. They have been always a pretty strong core jack-oriented team, so
That is true. And also, just to go over the bans in case you do need that, even though we have the graphic up, Singapore did ban LN4 and Chile did ban SB1. Of course, Chile, I think, being just the weaker team overall when it comes to SB, is shown in the qualifiers. Generally, lower seed teams do not like to play SVs at all, so that's a sensible SB1 ban. And of course, with Singapore wanting to hit up that Rice 1 LN4 makes a good amount of sense, as I do believe it is probably one of the harder LN maps in the LN pool.
We're having some technical issues here as well, as the client isn't detecting the proper map and proper song here, so it may take us a little bit to get into it.
Yeah, sorry again, we do have some technical difficulties. Just letting you know that the map is going on, so I will let you guys know as soon as possible what is going on with Palette Lab. Again, a bit of a tricky situation for Chile. You pick the most physical uh, rice map in the pool, but I mean, you are going against obviously a much higher seeded team, and I think a team that can scale a bit better into the mid game, and so gonna have to see if it turns out well for them, because giving over a break point is pretty dangerous early on into a set, especially since Singapore always has SB1 open, and if they beat Chile on Rice 5, they should feel comfortable into going into any of the other Rice picks, because I think that a lot of the Rice difficulty presented in this map is similar to a lot of the Rice difficulty presented in the other Rice maps, aside from Rice 1, but it was Singapore's Protect again, so they should feel comfortable on that as well. Just to go over some stats for you guys, Chile being C28 placed pretty much in line with their seeding for most of the qualifiers. They did do very well on Hybrid 2. They got 15th place, whereas Singapore C21 again did pretty average for their qualifiers. They didn't do that well when it came to early game rice. They got 28th place seeding for that, but they did manage to snag in a couple of top 20s. SV, they got 14th. LN, they both got inside the top 20. And Hybrid 2, outstandingly, they got a 12th place finish on that qualifier seeding. So they should feel, honestly, I'm surprised that Singapore had banned LN4, because I think overall they should be a stronger team, a much stronger team on LN. So I guess they just want to challenge Chile in that Rice versus Rice matchup and show them really who is boss there. And to give you guys an update, Singapore did end up beating Chile by the tune of about 24,000 points. So not too much. It wasn't an overwhelming victory. However, it was a decent amount. Falling Tuna had a 987, Pochettino 979, Dabian 965 on the Singaporean team, and that was definitely beat out by the Chilean players. Or sorry, the Chilean players definitely got beat out there as Sanalite had a 984, Sylvia 972, and Electro 196 with a 951. So everyone on the Singaporean team beat their counterparts on the Chilean team. Should also be noted that we only had two FCs across that entire set, with Falling Tuna and Satellite having those FCs 987 and 984 respectively. So Singapore up to pick next and also up 2-1. They are gonna try to go more into the Rice side of things. They are picking Rice 3. And for those of you, obviously you guys can't see it. For those of you that don't know, this is City Lights. I believe this is Elixir's map, and it's a lot of mixed and techie elements. Kind of feels like Rice 2, which is Show Me Your Love, but a lot harder in that regard. So just keeping up with the match, I believe the map is going on now. And honestly, if it's anything like Rice 5, it should be a sizable win for Singapore as well. Again, it's kind of like Palette Lab, which was the last map picked, and I don't think anything will really change. I think some of the Chilean players fall off a little bit more than the Singaporean players when it comes to this jump in physicality from round of 32 to round of 16 at least. Okay, second update again. Sorry for the delay, guys. We're just working on some technical issues right now, but it should be fixed pretty soon. And in a bit of a surprising fashion, Chile does win this one by just the closest of inches. 1,600 points goes over to Chile, and they do take it, make it 2-2. So double break point here. And honestly, I think Singapore might be a little stunned. Chile getting a pretty good team score overall, 989, 982, 982. Again, Satellite with the only FC on Chile's side. Whereas on Singapore's side, we have a 991, 983, 978. And we do have the match in the Twitch chat just in case you guys want to check it out yourselves. But 2-2, I believe it is Singapore's pick, and honestly, I think Chile should be pretty relieved that they won this map because I think that if they had lost here on Rise 3, it probably would have looked very dangerous for the rest of the set because your whole game plan is running on winning on the Rice picks, and if you lose on 2 Rice picks, it kind of begs the question, do you want to divert your attention to other maps in the pool? Do you want to switch up your game plan from what you had originally and stuff like that? And that's never a good feeling when you are trying to win a match, especially in a first to 6. There's so many maps that you need to pick, and at some point you are going to run out of Rise maps, but it definitely does help that Chile pulls out this victory here. Chile currently up to pick. I think they are still debating on what they want to go for, and they are gonna sweep up with. Oh wait, hold on. 1 second. Rice 2 was already picked. They tried to pick Rice 2, but that was already done and dusted with. And we finally got some gameplay to show you guys. Here we go with the client. And again, they try to pick a map that is not available to be picked. They try to go for Hybrid 5, but obviously there are only 4 hybrid maps in the pool. Just a little mistype. They are trying to go for Beast Base Bomb that is Hybrid 4. So a bit of a switch up from Singapore's original intentions. They did win on a Rice map. They did protect Rice 1, but they still have this up their sleeves. So as this map starts off, we are going to see a little bit of a switch in commentary. Juan Crystal does have to go and do a couple of other things, unfortunately, some back-end work for 40, and we are going to see the return of the Apple, my good friend Sun Apple. How are you doing today?
Hello, hello, hello. It's been a while since I've actually commentated a real tournament match. So I'm here. I'm happy to be here. Y'all have seen me in showcases, and I've been behind the scenes in the stream I'm now here to help out with this Chile versus Singapore, and we're already on 2-2 as y'all haven't seen. This map right here is very, very close. This is Ellen, or not Hybrid Ellen 4. It's Hybrid 5 or whatever, the last Hybrid map. And it's looking insanely close. Singapore having that lead, but it's only so slightly.
Oh, definitely for sure. I think Singapore should be maybe a little bit favored when it comes to very LN heavy picks like this. I think Chile might be riding on Singapore missing because looking at the accuracies right now and seeing how we're about halfway into the map and everyone on Singapore has a decent lead of accuracy over their Chilean counterparts, it just feels like Chile is on the back foot here. And that definitely helps that Best Satellite has dropped early on in the map. But, I mean, even though I say that, honestly, Chile does have that outside shot. We just need Singapore to drop or someone to get a slew of bad judgments.
Yeah, I mean, this lead is only 5,000, so I honestly feel like if Chile didn't get that early miss, then there was a pretty high chance of actually having their lead right now, but there's still a quarter left in the map, and there's so many places to trip up on, as we're seeing right now. This map just gets more and more intense as it goes through, and we're actually seeing these Singaporean players just continually hold up their accuracies. I haven't seen a bad judgment from them for a while, but it's looking like this lead is actually switching over to the Chilean side.
Yeah, things are flickering back and forth, but Chile does manage to pull it off in the end. They do get that pick. They do secure Hybrid 4. Even though all three players on the Singaporean side did FC, it's just not enough. The accuracy wasn't there for them. And even though Best Satellite did have that miss, it was pretty clean overall. Still getting a 973, so very respectable score with that one miss. And the only 990 in that lobby belongs to Shiny Sylveon.
Yeah, I mean, this breakpoint honestly looks like it's a very, very important one on this hybrid map. Um, it has Chile been winning these LN maps, or has Singapore been? Because
You know, it's
if
funny you say that
Singapore's
because
been winning the LNs,
yeah, so this is basically the
oh wait,
first.
no one's played LN.
Yeah, this is the first map where there's been like a decent amount of LNs, right? Because Chile had picked Rice 2 and Rice 5 before, and Singapore had picked Hybrid 1 and a Rice 3 before. So it's essentially like the first one that we've seen.
Interesting.
But now with Chile winning this point, Singapore does get to ban their next map.
That is true, and honestly, as Chile right here, I would definitely be looking at these LNs at this point, since you see that it's kind of close, but you still have the slight advantage on these kind of more density-based LNs. So maybe Singapore, if they know this, they can ban something like, I don't really want to say this, maybe something like String Theocracy. I really, really want to see that map, but they can definitely ban it. That'd be really, really good because that map is super dense and super difficult to coordinate. Either that or maybe please, LN3, please ban please instead of string theocracy. But I think that's actually what LN is that? I cannot tell. I think that's LN1, so we won't be seeing that one instead.
Yeah, Manoho Akari is going to be taken out of the field. That's the more like density slash wildcard pick of the litter. And so I guess Singapore is going to go for another LN ban. They previously banned LN4. And I think, honestly, for them, it's time to start looking at maybe SB2 or Rice 1, because I think those two choices are very good for them. Rice 1 being their protect, it's got to give you some kind of confidence, right? You think you're really good at early game jacks, so at some point you do have to pull the trigger and go for it. But also SV2, because again, as I said before in the broadcast, Singapore is pretty proficient in SPs. They got a 14th place in the qualifiers as compared to Chile's 25th. And honestly, I don't really expect Chile to be super practiced on it, at least compared to Singapore if they do um, end up picking it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And we're actually going to see the Singaporeans pick SV2, as you were saying. And I think this is a pretty good pick. You kind of just want to scout out some things. You know, you're kind of afraid that Chile may want to go for an LN map next. And if they don't go for an LN map, then there's a high chance that you are able to either take a breakpoint on an LN, because either way, Hybrid 4 was very, very close, so there's still very good opportunity to take points on these LN. But if they don't go for that LN, you still have Rice, which you're pretty comfortable on and kind of already planning on picking from what it seems like.
Probably, yeah. I guess it does remain to be seen. If Singapore does take this pick though, Sunapple, what do you think Chile's gonna ban? Do you think they're gonna go for Rice 4, which hasn't been picked yet and also hasn't been protected? Or do you think they're gonna go for like an off like LN or something like that?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. I feel like it'll be really hard to tell because they don't have that insight on their LN abilities. Because if it's like 50-50 on LN, then maybe you want to ban an LN speed because you feel a bit more confident on Rice. But I don't really know. They have so many options, and now that like I'm thinking about this SV pick is actually really is like insanely smart from the Singaporean team since it provides so much information that Chile really needs. But I think just to answer your question, I hope it's not LN2. I think it's gonna be Rice 4. Or
Yeah, I
whatever
think.
Rice.
Yeah, I think Rice 4 probably makes a little bit more sense, but you never know. I think last week Chile, what did they do? They protected LN2 and then banned SB1 and LN5, which is pretty interesting from them considering they were facing the Philippines, I believe. So protecting an LN and then banning LN, so I guess it's just like really whatever you're comfortable with. And actually, in that match, I think they ended up picking Rice 4 and LN3, so very spread out picks, just kind of not going for the hybrids in general. So I believe this being B-Space Bomb was their first hybrid pick of the bracket stage. And I think we're still waiting on players to get in here. Chile should have Numexu, Shiny Sylveon, and Horo, if I did my research correctly. And Singapore should have Mr. Debian, Bocchino, and Mega Sheeper.
Yeah, it's looking like that is going to be the lineup. Honestly, this is a pretty important pick for Singapore. There's a possibility that Chile's actually been playing this map a lot. I think this has been the more, I guess, the more popular SMU map that people have been wanting to play. Mostly, in my opinion, is mostly because it's Daisy Cutter. Everyone knows Daisy Cutter. Everyone loves Daisy Cutter. But
well,
maybe Chile also likes Daisy Cutter more than Singapore does. So they've been practicing it more.
That would be kind of like, I love those kinds of mind games where like you end up banning SV1 to force your opponent into thinking you're bad SV, but then absolutely killing it on the other SV. I don't think I've really ever seen it properly utilized, especially in like 4DM/MWC or any other really tournament setting where they have two SVs. But I just think that's like the sickest idea to do, and I'd love to see more teams do it.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of hard. It's kind of a hard strategy to pull off, but maybe we'll be seeing it here. And I think we had an abort just there, so that wasn't like any issues. I think we will actually be going into it very soon. I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody's PC like died or something. I don't know. So many possibilities for why aborts can happen.
Yeah, maybe their PC like broke or something. You know how it is. We've seen it time and time again. It's not gonna be the last time we see it.
Those gamma rays are very brutal.
Yeah. They'd be hitting the computer honestly.
It's a bit too common actually. I don't know why.
All the time. Happens to my PC as well. I vividly remember it happening to yours like 4 times in the last week. So.
Yes. I remember. There are some incidents that I can remember where I believe gamma rays were involved in my PC breaking.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they're really hitting this match right now because it seems like things aren't happening right now. I think the abort came in late. I We haven't even seen the gameplay. All the players are confused. We're confused. The refs confused. Everything is on fire.
It's alright. What is like? There has to be at least one stream where it's super scuffed, so that not every single stream like is at least a bit scuffed. So this match is actually taking all the problems that will happen in the future matches and just putting them into this one, so that the later matches are just normal and people are happy.
I actually really do like that idea that we've had like so much scuff early on just to work out the kinks, and from this match, mark my words, it's just smooth sailing. There will not be one problem for the rest of the tournament. Trust me, guys. I have the script, so it's fine. I can let you guys in on the secret.
Thank you so much. I think this is like the halfway point as well, so that's like perfect, right?
Yeah.
It's like, now all of them can't have problems.
Yeah, if we put all the problems into one match, all the other matches can't have problems. This one has all the problems. So
maybe more tournaments should like employ this tactic of having really one match be really terrible.
yeah, probably. I think what happened is that someone on the Chile side died. Well, not actually.
Actually died.
Well, who was it? New Maxu, right? I believe. And their PC isn't turning off. They're not on Discord. I think their internet died. Yep, Walmart are referee.
Is it actually internet?
Yeah, I think so because they're not on Discord. But yeah, I think the gamma rays have hit Chile somehow. I know it's a bit late for them, so maybe it's like the moonlight carries gamma rays.
Yeah. You know, it's like the radiation from the cheese, right? Or something like that.
So yeah,
The cheese on the moon.
because everyone knows the moon has cheese.
Everyone knows the moon is made of cheese. It's like a very well-known thing, alright?
Yeah, that is true. And
maybe we'll get the players. I would hope that Chile would just put somebody in. Maybe put him in as fodder, I'm gonna be honest.
that is fair. I think at some point you do have to accept that your third player isn't coming back, and obviously it is kind of just up to the referee's discretion how to implement it. I think we are seeing New Maxu. They are back. I know Pokechino was in the lobby, but I think they are taking their leave now. But the MP timer does come out. I think everyone should be ready quite soon, and we can finally get into Daisy Cutter.
Yeah, I mean, I think they read it up pretty quickly before, so I assume they're gonna ready up pretty quickly this time, as long as everything is set up. Very critical map here, honestly. If Chile is actually able to win this map, they will deny that, I guess, a ban that Singapore has. And that's like pretty big, since Chile will have more options to actually play. And we're actually getting into it finally after a bit of delay. Bancho always having issues with these stream stuff.
Yeah, definitely a shout out to the staff involved for just rolling with the punches and taking all of these hits and just being able to try to get this stream up as quickly as possible. And as we see it right now, I mean, honestly, the intro to Daisy Cutter isn't too hard. It's pretty straightforward. The main difficulty of it really comes in that first little ki with the chorus. And when the Ellens come in, that's how you know people are going to start dropping accuracy.
Yeah, and we're already seeing it. Even these little LMs, people are getting 200s back to back, and this lead is all over the place. I cannot tell who's actually going to win. Chile having the slight advantage, but it's instantly firing back as soon as these LMs come. People are just dropping 200s everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. Horo actually gonna be the first miss on the map. Pretty clean though. Everyone on the, well, I guess for the Chilean side, as we get into this kind of break section halfway to the map, Horo and New Mexico under a 99, but Sylveon is really keeping it down and keeping it competitive still with a 99.7 FC, top score of the lobby on the Singapore side. We do have Mega Sheeper, one person to watch out for because they are landing in with a 98.4 FC. So maybe someone to drop once we get into this flammy section here. And Dolphin and Mr. Davian doing just fine, 99.6 and 2 respectively. A bit of an accuracy drop, and the script is currently flipped. Chile managing to get back up to the combo cap and having an FC so far. Besides that one drop, is going to see a lot of score being poured over into their side.
Yeah, Singapore has just been bleeding accuracy throughout this last section. Mr. Davian and Mega Sheeper have just been dropping so much, even with that drop from Corner Root. Like, it doesn't really matter. 18k difference almost general to map, and I think this should go for Chile, and that's a really, really good breakpoint to take right now. At the most critical time, honestly.
Yeah, 100%. I think Singapore was really, really banking on that SV2 pick to kind of tie things up and maybe for them to stabilize, because they did just take a loss on Base Bomb and they did just take a loss on City Lights. So, I mean, they really needed something to get that momentum back in their favor, but it just didn't turn out well. Chile is going to be rewarded for keeping up the highest accuracy. Unfortunately for Singapore, they are going to fall down to 2 and 4. Mr. Davian with a 975, Dolphin with a 984, and again, as we talked about, Mega Sheeper was really good at keeping combo. It's just that the accuracy was needed just a little bit, getting that 98.3.
Yeah, and also I do want to point out Shiny Silky on 991 there. That's really, really good for them. Yeah. Honestly, I think that was just basically based off of accuracy, but now it is time for Chile's pick, I believe, and I would personally choose one of the LN at this point.
Yeah, I think
LN, one lowest bands. Which one do you think?
If it were up to me, I would probably do something like LN4. Beatrice being up, I think it presents itself as probably the hardest and techiest LN of the bunch.
I think Beatrice is banned.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, LN4 was banned. That was in the initial stages. So I think the next pick would probably have to be String Theocracy. Then it's swingy, it's nice and coordination based, but they are going to go for Rice 4 instead. So rounding out the rest of the Rice picks, aside from Singapore's Protect of Rice 1, we're going to see another speedy little map being chosen here.
Yeah, and this map is definitely, I think, one of the hardest to get really good accuracy on. It's very, very awkward, so it's really, I think, the best test of accuracy. There is the Rice 1, which is, I would say, pure accuracy. This one's a bit more, like, awkward. But it's, like, it's weird. It's really simple, but really awkward to act. So we will be seeing this.
I think that, like, first sight, you think that the patterns are very, very straightforward, right? You have rolls going one way multiple times, and then you have the one-hand trills. But kind of like what you said, the snapping is so weird that it's hard to keep good MA, and especially with the OD being 8.1, it's definitely people will be seeing a lot worse of an MA than usual, if I were to take a guess.
Yeah. And I guess we will just be waiting. Has Chile been doing really, really well on these Rice? Or I can see that Chile was the ones that were picking the Rice. So maybe they feel a bit more confident than others, or than
Probably. I mean, with the maps that are similar to this being so close, I still do think that it is a bit of a flip into where you probably still find yourself late into this match, because City Lights was decently close, and also Show Me Your Love. And again, oh wait, no, sorry, I think Show Me Your Love and Pellet Lab, two of those three. But I mean, either way, Singapore is not out of this just yet, and just because this map is Chile's weak doesn't mean that they really have an inherent advantage into this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, coming from a team or coming from a player who like has to play a bunch of different stupid maps and has to win breakpoints constantly. I think Singapore has a very, very high chance of actually being able to take this map and continuing to get to their ban or let Chile ban.
Yeah, it's just you have to be so in tune with this map. There's really that kind of like ebb and flow of like the ins and outs of difficulty in it. There's a lot of variation in the strain on this map, and so it's just so hard. We've seen so many players on this map choke an FC, or not even that, just like choke a bunch of patterns repeatedly throughout. In our last match which was in the Canada versus who played in that last
Sweden.
map? Yeah, Canada. I casted it. I should know, but yeah, Canada
No,
versus Sweden.
don't worry.
I think we saw like only 2 of the 6 players FC on it. So I mean, and these are very high seeded teams and people that are very good with a decent physical cap. So I mean, it should tell you about like what's to come. There's a lot of riding on this map.
Yeah, there really is. And I definitely think a lot of players may struggle to get a good FC just because of how much they're trying to get really high accuracy on it. And actually, at the start of this map, we're seeing Singapore having this pretty massive lead based off of Elector. I don't know. I can't read that. Wow.
This is Electro. It is hard to read.
Some of Electro's accuracy deficit is looking like they have a pretty rocky intro compared to all the Singaporeans who are at around 99.6.
Yeah, again, you just have to watch out for not only the rolling patterns, but just the prolonged one-hand shows like the ones that are going on right now, because they can really hit you in the accuracy. You kind of lose your rhythm just for even a little bit, and we see not Mr. Davian taking a bit of a hit to the accuracy as they take a miss. However, with Electro standing at a 98.75, I don't think it's going to be nearly enough for Chile to make a comeback in this map. We're going to need to see a couple of other drops from either Mr. Davian or the other players on this team.
Yeah, and also Pocacino having this 99.78 topping the lobby right now. It's really, really helping out the Singaporean team. All 3 players are playing insane for Singapore, and Chile having to struggle a bit more. I believe it'll take 1 or 2 misses at this point for Singapore to actually be able to, I guess, switch their lead over to the other side. And we're seeing Rancho coming back right now.
Yeah, Pocacino is matching Oro, and we have Dolphin matching Shiny Sylveon. It's really just that third player difference right now. We have Mr. Davian at a 99.48 one miss, and Electro at a 98.98 one miss. So that's really the reason why they have that 15,000 point lead, because the other 4 players are pretty matched evenly, and Electro taking another strange miss, especially in the, I guess, more calm sections.
Yeah.
And I realized that I think
I don't think there's
clients
any
are
more
safe.
map.
Yeah, I think Electro's client is off by just a little bit, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter at this point. Singapore is gonna take it. They are gonna get up to 3 to 4, though it is Chile's pick.
Yeah, I think Electro is client 1, so that is why it's out of sync. But
And yeah,
we do see Singapore taking that 3rd point. Chile going to be able to ban. I'm not sure what Chile actually bans here. It's very, very like it's kind of all over the place. Maybe you want to ban Rice 5 actually.
yeah,
Now
it's
that
kind
I
of a
think
hard
about it,
pick.
because you just picked this Rice 4, which is a bit more physical and a bit more like technical. Maybe you want to pick that Rice 5 to be able to, or ban that Rice 5 to be able to kind of take out the most physical Rice that is in this pool, a very mini Jackie map. A lot of places to choke, like you have been seeing, or like you did see Chile do quite a bit, honestly, on that Rice 4. Or you do go for that LN. Maybe you say, screw it, We hate LN, and it's looking like it'll be that. LN5, Sparse of Cercis Fauna, banned.
Yeah, we aren't going to be seeing Scars of Fauna. It should be noted, I know the client is a bit off because Palette Lab was protected by Chile earlier in the match. There's actually, yeah, it was their protect, and they did end up picking it for their second pick, in which Singapore won. But I know the client's a little bugged right now. It should be fine. We are going to see Rice 1, however, Singapore immediately reacting and picking this so straightforward. It does seem like kind of the only sensible, like, straightforward pick for them, considering that it was their protect.
Yeah. And this is, as you did say, the most straightforward map, so this is going to be pure accuracy, I'd say. I think this, I've been seeing a lot of people say this is very jump streamy, but I think that's just because the ending is jump streamy, but 99% of this map is like a core jack map.
Yeah, pretty much, and I think it definitely, like, there are, like, I guess speedy transitions or like a couple of quick jump stream transitions, but for the most part it is really just like 130 BPM mid-low density jacks. Yeah. Like there's some threes in there, but it's a lot of twos and maybe some ones as well.
And I believe just as an update for the other match, it looks like US versus Peru is going on right now, and US is 1-0, and they're playing another map right now. So I don't know if we'll be transitioning to that one immediately. I don't know what's going to happen after, but we still got to focus on this match. Chile up 4-3, very, very close right now. Singapore, if they are able to take this map, it'll be tied up once again.
Yeah, that's so important too, because you being at 4-4 and needing to take 2 more points to make it kind of puts, honestly, both teams in the spot, because what's left in the pool doesn't really suit either of their skill sets very well. You have a couple of LN maps, and I think you have Hybrid 2 and 3, but those are pretty LN centric and don't really favor one team more than the other. So I do really think that Singapore does need to lock in and take this map convincingly in order for them to be in a good position for the next couple of picks.
Yeah, I kind of agree, honestly. The next few picks, I think this is the last Rice pick, so you don't really know. I want to see Hybrid 2. I think that would probably be... I don't actually think that would be the best map for either of these teams, but I want to see it because it hasn't been played and I really like that song. So a bit of a bias, but I can have bias, right? I'm a commentator, not a player.
Not a player, not a referee. We can have just the slightest bit of a bias, at least for the maps that we do want to see. It is a good map. Starting off, though, of course, people trying to get up to the common cap, no one's really going to have a big lead over the other unless someone takes a big drop in accuracy. But for now, with this very calm intro, we do see that things are pretty much tied up. As things start to stabilize just a little bit, it does seem like Dolphin and Mr. Davian do have a bit of an accuracy edge over Sylveon and Horo. However, it is helping that Satellite does have a bit of an accuracy edge over Pokechino.
Yeah, and I actually think that this third player difference is really key to whoever's going to win this map. Actually, it's looking like Mr. Darbian doing a bit worse, dropping a bit of the accuracy compared to Shiny Sylveon, and that's a really, really big difference right now. I believe they may have gone over 200, and actually they are going to take a miss, and that's going to switch the lead over to Chile by so much.
Yeah, I guess when the density really picked up, the Singaporean players couldn't really stick with it as much as the Chilean players could. Horo is looking excellent right now with a 99.87 and 2 very good supporting scores as well in Sylveon and Sonolite. Bit of a break section here, back half of the map left to go, but with 15,000 points in Chile's favor, it really does seem like Chile needs to probably drop 2 or 3 times spread across the players in order for Singapore to take this map.
Yeah, and we are getting to the end, the last quarter. I believe there's only one more big section in the map, and there is a chance for Chile to miss, but they're really looking so consistent. Everyone above this 99.7, and actually 2 players above the 99.8, where none of the Singaporean players are anywhere near it, honestly. Both Dolphin and Pocachino are 99.75, basically. I feel like this is going to be in Chile's favor for right now, and another really good breakpoint if they are able to take it. But sliver of map left, I think they should be fine.
Yeah, 100%. That lead is way too big, and there's not enough difficult patterns in the map for Singapore to really bank on Chile missing. And as the map finishes, we see just impeccable scores by honestly all of the players. A little stain on Davian with that one miss, the only miss in the map, but all across the board, all over 990, and I think it would have been pretty close with Davian not missing. However, Chile still would have taken that point.
Yeah, I mean double 993 is really good, and I don't think even with like a few less 200s and without the miss, Mr. Davian would be able to get really that near it. But now it's time for Chile at the match point on their pick. No rices left in the map or in the map pool, so they will have to kind of gamble, I guess, on these LNs and hybrids. Though keep in mind, Chile did win that hybrid 4, which is very LN heavy. So maybe you want to opt for more of the LN maps. Maybe you wanted to go for Scars of Fauna, since honestly Singapore has been kind of choking a bit on a few maps. Maybe you want to gamble on that ending with Scars of Fauna, where it really ramps up the difficulty with those mini jacks.
Yeah, and it definitely helps that we have not seen a single LN map picked. 3 of the 4 bans have been used on LN, so the only 2 remaining being LN2 and LN3 is quite interesting against String Theocracy and Please are very different maps. Please being the density kind of pick, and at 161 BPM it's very fast as well. And String Theocracy being very like swing heavy, lots of different tricks to maybe trip you up and get either bad judgments or, in the worst case scenario, a couple of misses. Whereas on the other side of things, with the hybrid, we have hybrid 2 and hybrid 3. Still, I think both picks are decently LN centric, but Deja Vu does have a little bit more of Rice difficulty compared to Buna Synergy.
Yeah, and we're actually going to be seeing Deja Vu here. And by the way, I was looking at the stats sheet a bit ago, since it's there, it's a bit updated. Deja Vu actually hasn't been picked yet this week, so this will be the first time we're actually seeing scores on this map. I'm really happy to see this. My wishes were called or were answered. Thank you, Chile.
Yeah, shout out to Chile for listening to Sun Apple's call for help. We're gonna see Deja Vu picked, and again, Chile is on match point. This is very scary for Singapore. They need to not only take this point, but the next one. And when you have such a minefield of a map pool remaining, it's very hard to think about what your next step is in this. And honestly, they don't really have time to think about their next step. They need to think about the now, because the hybrids and the hybrids in general have been pretty coin flippy, or anything with LN representation.
Yeah, and I believe Pocachino had a bit of an issue. It's looking like they're back, so they should be able to get ready as soon as possible. And the MP start command did go through, so we will be seeing whether Chile will be able to take this win out with this last pick, or whether Singapore will be able to maybe make a comeback. If they do take this pick, they'll have another pick immediately after, and they'll have a better idea, honestly, of what to pick. Probably, just because you'd probably go hybrid, honestly. Just say LNs don't matter, hybrid is where it's at. We love hybrids as a Singaporean.
Yeah, for sure. This map, I think I've said that before, but there's a lot of techie rice and LN. It's not super straightforward as to whether or not there's like a real bias for this map in terms of difficulty for the 2 skill sets, but I think this map really does, or like is able to blend both of them so well together. Singapore taking like the slice of these, honestly, it's flickering back and forth, but with Satellite having pretty low accuracy, it might be a bit tough. Dolphin is going to take that first miss, so things are going to be helped out a bit for Chile.
Yeah, and that intro is honestly not that hard, and I think we should be actually getting into the real map, in my opinion, right now. We'll most likely be seeing maybe 1 or 2 misses from Chile. These mini jacks are very hard to coordinate, and we already see Horo taking a break, and I think it was an Elentra, so it wasn't that big, and as a result, Chile still has the slightest of leads.
Yeah, again, it's just the drops are so big. We are halfway into the map, and as Horo gets back into the combo cap, we do see that based on accuracy, Singapore is doing better by the slightest of margins. Mr. Davian top scoring the entire lobby, and also Pokechino doing their best to match with Horo in terms of accuracy. Sylveon top scoring for Chile, but it's not going to be enough as Horo drops yet again. Something needs to be traded out here and now in order for Chile to take this point.
Yeah, and also Shiny Sylveon did kind of rush one of those sections, and that is really kind of leading to this lead for Singapore right here, 8k, and it's honestly increasing while Horo isn't at this 400 combo mark. There's only a slight bit of map left, and I think there is still time for Singapore to take a break or two, and I believe that will actually switch a lead as long as it's a decently dirty break. But this lead is increasing by so much, and the amount of time left on the map is so little. I think they will actually be able to take the point and maybe make it, or maybe get to match point.
Yeah, 10,000 point victory for Singapore. So a couple of sweat drops here and there, but mostly clean overall. Unfortunate drops again by Horo. And that definitely led to Chile being down by quite a bit during that mid map. However, Singapore does push through and get that 4th point. They are going to be rewarded with their own pick as well, so they do have the chance to tie it up and send this match into TV, as you know we all want.
Yeah, we all really do want that. Honestly, seeing this from Singapore, I don't know. It's really hard to tell. I feel like you kind of want to go the Hybrid 3, but Hybrid 3 may actually be a bit too simple, because I feel like a Hybrid 3 is honestly not that big. Maybe you go out there, go LN2.
Yeah, I think LN2 would be kind of crazy.
I think LN2 would be crazy, and if they win it, it'd be even crazier. But
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
most likely what's going to happen is Hybrid. Just because it's you just want a Hybrid, you got that morale boost, everything's going good.
It is a very tough choice. I mean, only Hybrid 3 is left. Earlier in the match, Chile won on Beast Space Bomb Hybrid 4, and that was kind of like a Jackie Rice and like a density and coordination based LN difficulty map. So it might be a bit difficult to really think about what you want, and Singapore is going to lock in their final pick of the map. They are going to go for LN3, which is the straightforward density pick.
Yeah, interesting, honestly, because I feel like Singapore has been winning a lot of these, I guess, more technical maps so far, compared to Chile really doing well on these more, I guess, simple maps like this one. And this map also is only 2 minutes. That is something good for Singapore, who may be relying a bit on Chile to take a break. So if Chile does break, it'll be really bad for them, because it is so short.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the thing with this map is that there's some kind of like physical component, I guess, in this map, because I think 161 BPM isn't super, like, it's not slow enough to the fact where like you can autopilot it, and especially in the little Ki after the break halfway into the map, it gets super trilly, and so I think that's really a focus point to look at in this map if you want to see any big shifts in score.
Yeah, and we'll be starting now. Going into the last actual pick, Singapore, holding on for their life, needs this win to go to tiebreaker against Chile into our custom song. But first things first, they need a win. So please win to get to TB.
Yeah, that's something we all probably want to see, except for, of course, Chile and their fans watching Singapore trying to prevent the upset. We do not want two straight upsets on stream. And so they're going to have to try to do their best on this density map. And starting off, it seems like Chile probably has the accuracy advantage overall. Even though all players haven't gotten up to comp cap until now, it seems like with Mr. Davian and Noman hitting at a 99.56, whereas everyone on Chile's side is basically above a 99.5, especially with Horo at a 99.84 and Sylveon at a 99.78. It really does seem like this first section does favor Chile.
Yeah, but as we're getting further into the map, it's looking like Chile's kind of struggling a bit. I mean, their accuracies have been dying down quite a lot of satellite at this 99. Even though I think it's really off the back of Shining Sylveon having this 91.8, that's doing a whole lot to keep their accuracies just in check. Only 5k difference as we get into this first break. Half the map over already. Singapore needs to just focus up in this later half. And honestly, if Chile breaks, that'll be really, really good. And we can definitely see it happen. Homo taking a 200 and 200s have been kind of getting dropped by everybody on Chile. But Mr. Dabian taking the first break of the map, and that's not what you want to see if you're a Singapore fan.
Yeah, this is really the crucial point that I was talking about. This section is probably the hardest section in the entire map, and with Mr. Davian taking that miss and Chile standing strong, it does seem like Chile is poised to maybe take it. There's 5,000 points that separates them, but the density is not dense enough in the ending. I think Chile should probably be fine, and with Dolphin losing accuracy as the map goes on, and Pochino not able to stand up to any of the players besides Sonalite, it does seem like Chile is going to take it. They are going to complete the upset, and they are going to stave off Singapore from getting to that tiebreaker.
That is so sad. Sonalite had a very, very dirty break towards the end, but I just don't think there was enough map to make it a thing. And oh, Mr. Dabian took a column break. Not even like a real break. That's so, so sad. But congratulations to Chile. You will be moving on. This was a loser's bracket match, so Singapore is going to be out the tournament.
Yeah, unfortunate, but Singapore will gracefully exit in the losers bracket. Chile gonna survive another day. They are gonna face the loser of Malaysia / Germany. That's gonna be the last match of the weekend later, so we won't know until then. But for now, we are going to switch over to the US and Peru match. It has been ongoing. We'll try to keep you updated on what's been happening. But for me, that's gonna be it. Sunapple is gonna stay in, and basically, I will introduce, or I guess reintroduce Juan Crystal to this match.
Hello, that's my
Hello.
name.
Hello, Juan. My
Hello.
showcase buddy. Welcome.
Yeah.
I believe it is currently 4-0 on
Yes,
US.
it is
right
4-0
now.
in favor of the United States of America here, and they are playing Daisy Cutter. So what a time to join here! And this is looking pretty close actually. Peru really looking to have a chance here, but scores here by the US are just insane.
Yeah, Basil with this 99.88. That's really, really impressive. No one basically touching her on Peru. And everyone on US doing really, really well in the map. They definitely have shown how much practice they have had. And this is the most difficult section of the map. So no one's really dropping act on US. It really shows how much they've played.
I mean, you know, both teams practices when the lowest accuracy in the lobby is 99.46, but now there's the miss, unfortunately, by Spectral on the Peruvian side. And as much as they were looking like a team that could take the US on SVs, it's not gonna happen. Peru very, very close though. What are the scores by the United States, by the way? How is the lowest score in SV2 988K?
That is
That
true. Don't
doesn't seem
forget.
right.
Seed 23 SV. Interesting. Very, very interesting to know. I don't know whose pick this is. I assume it's Peru's. No, it's actually
No, this was
Peru's next
US.
pick. This
Yeah.
was US's pick. So Peru desperately needs to take this next map. It has, I don't know what they can pick. I think Rice has been really, really picked by Peru, so probably wants to go for another one of those. Maybe going for Neon Drive if they haven't played that already. Going for something a bit more simpler so that they can possibly give it out on AC.
So what I can see, they picked LN1, then picked Rice 4, then LN2 and Rice 5, and now we're in this cutter, which is 2. So far dynamic has been Rice versus LN.
Yeah. Very, very common dynamic that we see.
Yeah, the USA mostly going for the LN things though, and Peru trying to strike back on the Rice. So, oh wow, they actually go
Interesting.
Fauna.
They go Scars of Fauna.
This pick makes no sense.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't really see it. Maybe they're going for like a choke on US on that little mini jack section at the end. That I struggle with personally. I know you don't struggle with it, Juan, somehow.
But, I mean, I probably struggle nowadays, to be honest. I barely play the game anymore, but yeah, to be fair, Peru was mostly stopped on most of the picks so far. I think the closest one has been the last 3 we saw recently, and it was like 20k, 25k. So it's not like Peru really has many good options available. They could have instead gone for like a hybrid pick here, which is the only thing that hasn't been tried out yet. But even still, it seems that the US is just, unfortunately for Peru, one step ahead on pretty much every skill set here.
Yeah, this US team is very, very all-rounded. I guess we are just right now waiting for Peru. I think this is going to line up for US. Charlie 72, Sky, and Funnels. And I don't really know who Peru is going to swap in. Honestly, let me check who has been playing the LMs for Peru. I believe it's going to be Macaco. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yep,
Macaco.
and then there they are. Macaco. There they are.
Macacao would be probably the best way to pronounce it. Because otherwise it can be an offensive name.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so great.
I mean, it isn't really. It just means monkey in Portuguese.
Oh.
But
Well,
yeah,
I feel like
Brazilian
that's not
people
like,
don't like
they
that.
didn't name it that. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
what if
it's
I
not
just do
the
Maca?
proper way. Yeah, we can say Macacao or Maca is also fine, or Macac.
Yep. Alright,
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
decide
whatever.
eventually. But we are
Into
starting
Stars of
off. Yep. This is the harder LN map of the pool, so maybe US favored a bit. Actually, we're seeing Peru having the bit of an accuracy lead early on, though. But Peru is constantly dropping 200. Maca, I think, got a bunch at that intro on these LN releases, dropping all the way down to their 99. And US is standing so strong.
As it stands right now, Tonal's accuracy seems to be the highest, followed up by Defu and Sky, both on the 99.77, 78 mark. But it can easily turn, because this release are very tricky to hit, especially, you know, the race releases or like slam releases, or even you can call them roll releases really. And the United States seems to be holding the lead. That's what the sort of Tonal's accuracy. And Maca trying the best here to pick up a little bit this performance. Having the lowest accuracy in the lobby doesn't really help the Brazilians as we are entering the last of the map. No breaks whatsoever by any of the players here. And a singular miss could potentially swing this back into his hands. But the US is just looking very comfortable and very solid. Their team positions aren't even that spread, to be honest. So they should win this quite comfortably if they don't find a miss on the endings here. You know, the bursty ending can be difficult for some players. And if the US manage to hold on through it, they should be fine. But otherwise, perhaps two misses can be enough for Peru to catch up. Otherwise, they will be knocked out of the loser's bracket. And here is the jump trill. No problem whatsoever.
No problem.
United
Yeah.
States takes it 6-0. 6-way FC.
6-way FC and US will be taking it. This was a winner's bracket match, so Peru only going to the loser's bracket. Still has quite a bit of a chance. Congratulations to US. Moving on, I believe they're going to be facing the winner of who? It's Philippines and I think
Yeah, it will be
Philippines
Philippines
and
against
Italy.
Italy. Yeah. So, US already waiting for the opponent here. So is Vietnam on the other side of the same winners bracket. Here, China and Indonesia are going to be facing each other very soon. And on the other, like on the right side of the bracket, I believe we saw most of the teams already progressing through. We are only missing Malaysia or Germany, as we have Taiwan versus United Kingdom already locked in for the quarterfinals winners bracket after a great match there between the uprising stars of the United Kingdom, really, as they are upsetting Thailand and probably the biggest upset so far we had in the tournament. Is it safe to
Uh,
say?
I'm not sure because I think there was an upset in the first round that was pretty big. I think Germany Russia is I think the biggest upset actually. I think
Could
Russia's
be.
was like top 16. I can't remember. But still a
Well,
very
yeah,
very big upset with that
definitely a good one.
Thailand, Germany or Great Britain.
But
But
that's about it, I think, for the stream now, this, isn't it? Like, we have the next match in about an hour and 20 minutes.
yeah,
So, yeah, and that one will be Australia against Mexico. So, another losers bracket encounter here. And I don't know. It's going to be intense, I think. Mexico showed a very high caliber of play in the previous round. I think it was against Hong Kong. They lost 5-2 against a team that is very well rounded. And Australia, mostly off the back of their tournament experience, may have a chance here, but I think Mexico is a bit of the favorite here in this match. But, you know, upsets can happen. We saw that already in the Ireland versus Romania match, for example. And Chile versus Singapore as well was quite the upset, too. So,
yeah. So many upsets this weekend. It's really really interesting how this tournament is playing out.
yeah, I'm honestly quite excited here for this next matchup, which is to us on the American continent, the last one of the day. For those on the other side, maybe the first or
First
second
one.
match of the day. So yeah,
Something like that. But I think that'll be it. I don't have anything else to say, do you?
that's probably it for me as well. Really, we will see you there for the Australia versus Mexico matchup, obviously. And until then, I hope you guys get some rest, maybe something to eat. If it's late for you, you can go to sleep as well. That's probably fine. But if you don't sleep, remember to catch up the match. It's going to be exciting. So, two teams with a lot of history already as well on Mania World Cup specifically, and hoping to make their own history here on for the Jet Mania World Cup. We shall see then how that match develops. And until then, I'll see you all.
Goodbye.